this is us shopping. First thing that I'm doing is I go to the berries section. The berries that I usually choose are blueberries and strawberries. They're the easiest ones to eat. Blueberries, you have to be kind of careful. It's because you want to make sure that they are ripe, so I like to open them up and touch them. Strawberries, of course, you want to make sure they're ripe too. So one of the best ways to check for the strawberries' freshness is to look at the bottom of the container and make sure there's no rotten strawberries on the bottom. The next place that I usually go is over to the Guacamole, and I buy the Whole Foods brands. They usually have fresh guacamole. Make sure you check the expiration date. Usually they're good for about 10 days, and so you want to make sure that it's going to last for 10 days because they do go bad almost right when that expiration date hits. Next thing I do is I go right over to the grapefruits. I usually get about 4 to 5 of them. I like to take them in my lunch, and then also when I'm home on my days off, I like to snack on them. And what I do now is I get a bunch of bags, probably about 8 to 10. This is actually to get the celery, depending on the size of the celery, because sometimes the celery is really small and other times they're bigger. Today they happen to be quite big, which is awesome. I love it when they're really big. And then I wrap them individually because when you wrap them individually, they'll stay fresher longer. I think this time I got about 9 of them. For each juice, it takes usually 1 whole stalk and then maybe a few more pieces of the stalk. Grab them all up and place them in the carriage. People look at you kind of weird, but oh well. Next, I go over to the avocados. So I like to select about 6 green avocados that are not ripe yet, because what I do is I place them outside on my counter, and then in about 3 days they will be perfect. I like to get organic. Unfortunately, the only ones that were organic today were the very green ones. So the ripe ones were non-organic, which is fine. I try to shop organic as much as possible, but I don't get stressed out if, the things are not organic. So I get about 6 ripe avocados, and those are ready to use right away. Next, I'm getting the lemons. I get about 2 bunches of lemons. Those are for my lemon waters and for my juices. And now I'm picking out the tomatoes. Well, first of all, I get vine ripe tomatoes. So I like to buy them on the vine. And the vines here were a little bit dried up, which is why I'm not showing you, but I like to find really fresh looking vines. And that's how you know the tomato is really fresh. Next, I get the cucumbers. The cucumbers, I always try to get organic. Those are probably one of the most important things for me to get organic. Unfortunately, even Whole Foods sometimes runs out of organic, so I just work with what I have. Today they had an excellent selection. I usually grab about maybe like 14 or 15, depending on the size. That day they were quite large, so I think I grabbed like 13. My husband loves bananas, so I'm getting some bananas for him. I actually am not a huge banana fan anymore. I think I'm bananaed out. I get sick of foods really easily. And now I like to get some wheatgrass. So I usually get the larger bag of wheatgrass, perfect for my juices. And now I go to the greens. So spinach is my absolute favorite green to juice. Now you want to be really careful, check every single expiration date because you need these to last a week. I don't know about you, but I can only go grocery shopping once a week. You can always ask the guys in the back, and a lot of times they have later dates in the back. Today the dates were pretty good, so I was okay with that. So I usually get about 4 to 5 of these. And then for my lunches, I like arugula. Now, I do love the taste of the lettuces that have colors in them, but they just don't last. You really have to eat those right away, within 2 days, honestly, because they will not last long at all. Next, I go ahead and grab things for my shakes. So in my shake, obviously here are the chia seeds, the goji berries, the acai powder, the cocoa powder, and the maca powder. I also like to get the protein powder from here. This is just the French vanilla, and also the spirulina. And a fun snack is the nani juice. I really do like the nani juice every now and then. I actually don't drink it as much as I used to, but I still do enjoy it every now and then. Next, I like to go and find my crackers. I love these crackers. So I usually get 2 boxes that will last about a week. Next, I head over to the nuts section. Definitely eat a lot of nuts. If there's one thing that I probably couldn't live without, it is nuts, because just a few nuts and your hunger can go away, which is really important when you have a lot of things that you need to do at work. So those are the almonds. I also like cashews, which I don't need at this second. I also enjoy the walnuts and macadamia nuts. So I'm out of macadamia nuts, so I'm going to go ahead and grab those. And I also use pecans. Try to mix it up a bit. The next section that I'm going to is the eggs. We eat quite a few eggs. Some nights I have 1 egg, some nights I have 2 eggs, just depending on how hungry I am. Usually it's 1. So I usually get about 1.5 containers of eggs. It's like a big one and a small one. And then I like to get the coconut milk. Coconut milk is what I use for chia pudding. Super easy to make and a really nice snack. Also, almond milk, I usually buy the 2 at a time. I use it in my shake every day, so I need a lot for sure. So the coconut water, I usually buy about 4 at a time, and that will last about a week, maybe slightly longer, maybe like 1 extra day. But my husband uses the coconut water too. He also makes shakes as well. Next, I like to grab hummus. I like to grab 1 big container of hummus. And lastly, I like to pick up a gluten-free bread. And that's it. We're done shopping.